Hi, I'm Gibson McCracken with Flick Financial. The goal of this video is to do a review of the Blackhawk School District 403B plan. Before we get into that, just a quick review of PSERS and Social Security to lay the foundation for us. PSERS is your public pension in the state of Pennsylvania as a school district employee. Unless you are part-time, it is mandated that you contribute to this plan. And for most people with an ordinary career, you're going to have between 60 to 80% of your retirement income coming from PSERS. On top of that, you also contribute to Social Security. Social Security you can collect between the ages of 62 and 70. So Blackhawk sponsors a voluntary retirement plan called a 403B. This is not something that you have to contribute to for retirement. There are other ways to save for retirement on top of PSERS and Social Security. However, about 25 to 30%, using national statistics, 25 to 30% of K through 12 employees use a 403B to save for retirement. It's payroll deducted, and you can save up to $23,500. If you're under age 50, an additional catch-up contribution of $7,500 for age 50 and over. Those are the new limits for 2025. Now, a 403B is similar to a 401k in the for-profit world, but there's some very important differences and nuances that make the K through 12 403B quite a bit different than a 401k. To lay the background for why that is, we have to understand an act of Congress called ERISA. It stands for the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974. Now, this act requires for-profit employers and some non-profit employers to act as a fiduciary regarding their voluntary retirement plan. So for-profit employers required to act as a fiduciary for a 401k on behalf of their employees. And so what you're going to find is much more simplicity with a 401k, one provider, low investment costs. And so it's important to understand that public schools are not covered by ERISA. And so they are not required to provide the same fiduciary oversight, which makes the public K through 12 403B quite complex and confusing. And so zooming into the Blackhawk 403B, there's actually 13 different companies that you can choose from in this plan to hold your 403B. Blackhawk has a TPA, which is a third-party administrator that oversees the management of this plan. And in this case, it's a company called TSA Consulting. TSA Consulting publishes online the list of providers for Blackhawk. Anybody can access that. This is nice because you can see all the options you have. There's still very little transparency as far as how the different providers are different, what the fees are, what the investment options are. However, it is very important to understand the differences between these providers. They're not all the same, and you can end up in a very different place in retirement depending on which one you use. Now, some background on 403Bs. Going back to 1958, that's when the 403B was invented, you could say. And at that time, annuities were the only investment vehicle available inside of 403Bs. Fast forward to 1974, mutual funds were added. So in a 403B, you're only ever going to find an annuity or a mutual fund. So an annuity is an insurance contract with an insurance company with sub-accounts. Sometimes you'll see variable annuities. Sometimes you'll see fixed annuities with these providers. But an annuity is a contract. You do have to keep the money there for a certain period of time. And a lot of times you're paying extra fees that are unavoidable in these contracts. A mutual fund is not a contract with an insurance company. It's a contract with a custodian that holds those mutual funds for you. So organizing these different providers into their categories, over here on the left, we have companies. These are all insurance companies that offer annuity contracts. Again, higher cost options within the 403B. Over in the right, we have the providers that only offer mutual fund account types. And then down the middle, we have a confusing conglomeration of providers that have both annuity contracts and custodial accounts available. This is all very nuanced, and so I can't get into all of the details of each individual provider. So I've organized this over here just in different categories to help keep it simple. Down at the bottom, we have the insurance companies that have higher cost annuities. These are the ones that I can't think of a normal scenario where you would benefit from using these. In the middle here, we have the providers that offer either custodial accounts or in some cases annuities. And the reason these are in the middle are because either the mutual fund options are commission based and a little bit higher cost, or even the low cost options are not nearly as well priced as Aspire and Vanguard. So Aspire and Vanguard, to be quite honest, are by far the best options. And by best, I mean the lowest cost to administer the account and the access to good quality investment options inside of the account. Brief overview of Vanguard. Vanguard is a self-directed account, meaning there is not going to be an advisor that is associated with this account managing it for you. So this is good for do-it-yourself investors. They charge a $5 a month record keeping fee. The one downside though is Vanguard only provides Vanguard investment funds inside of this account. So you can't go get Fidelity or T. Rowe Price or Schwab. It's going to be Vanguard only. Aspire, they charge a 0.15% or 15 basis point record keeping fee, but you get access to virtually any mutual fund, including hundreds of different index funds available on that platform. To summarize, there's really no reason I can think of other than someone being very risk averse to use anything other than Aspire and Vanguard. One other thing to note is Blackhawk does allow for Roth contributions into the 403b. The 403b, again, is the umbrella term. You can make pre-tax contributions to the 403b or Roth contributions to the 403b. Not every school district offers this, so this is a nice benefit. There's a nonprofit called 403bwise.org. They have a great website you can go look at, but they rate any school district that has publicly available vendor lists for the 403b. And so what you see here is they've assigned Blackhawk a C. And the reason for that is they only have 2 low-cost providers. They have a rating system, green, yellow, red. And so in Blackhawk, there's 2 green, 2 yellow, and then the rest are red. Red meaning overpriced, costly, commission-based contracts that are hard to get out of. You might be asking, well, how do I switch providers? Because in my experience, most people unfortunately have red providers for their 403b. The answer to that is a little bit complex. In most cases, you're able to switch which provider you're using. However, sometimes your account is still in that surrender period if you have an annuity contract. So it's important to understand what you have to know the best way forward. Thanks for watching. Please keep in mind that this is a complex topic with a lot of nuance. So we'd be glad to talk to you about your own situation and answer your questions. Go Cougars.